The decline in the importance of industrial production is commonly portrayed as an inevitable process. Its most visible consequences are urban decay and unemployment, because as industry dies, jobs are naturally lost. Lower tax revenues lead to the decline of urban infrastructure, such as municipal services are reduced, as can be seen, for example, in the closure of swimming pools or libraries. The business world is also affected. Expensive shops and restaurants are replaced by cheap stores and snack bars, and a significant proportion of the retail space in a town stands empty. The town becomes less and less attractive to live in. Residents leave it and move to where they can find work, which leads to neighborhoods becoming even more run down, and the remaining residents also moving away, or the depleted ranks being filled with migrants. The latter in particular is radically changing the cityscape, as can be seen, for example, in London Tower Hamlets or Newham, among other places. But where is this development leading? To answer this question, it helps to look at places that have already taken these steps, such as Newcastle upon Tyne in the north of England. Historically, the economy of Newcastle upon Tyne was a great center of coal shipment from nearby mines, which resulted in a famous expression for describing a pointless action of carrying coals to Newcastle. The extraction and processing of coal and iron created a series of specialized industries, such as steel manufacture and eventually steam power, but Newcastle also became a glass producer. In the 19th century, shipbuilding and heavy engineering were central to the city's prosperity, and the city was a powerhouse of the Industrial Revolution. It was Newcastle where Robert Stephenson built his famous steam locomotives. This revolution resulted in the urbanization of the city. Newcastle's Mosley Street was the first public road in the world to be lit up by incandescent light bulbs, as Newcastle was one of the first cities in the world to be lit up by electric lighting. Heavy industries in Newcastle declined in the second half of the 20th century, with office, service and retail employment now becoming the city staples. The largest sector consists of education and health services industries, accounting for nearly 26% of employees. Also, the city's thriving nightlife is seen as a major contributor to Newcastle's economy. The UK's first biotechnology village is the first step to the City Council's plan to transform Newcastle into a science city. In general, the city has been pushing ahead with structural change from a formerly flourishing industrial region to a cosmopolitan metropolis. Among other things, for example, museums and theaters have been created in some old factory buildings. Population rose from approximately 80,000 in 1851 to approximately 340,000 in 1951, and went back to less than 260,000 in 2001. Today, there are a little more than 300,000 inhabitants, of which 80% are ethnic whites, with a proportion of migrants of approximately 16%. The unemployment rate went down to approximately 7% from around 10% in 2011. At first glance, this does not sound too bad, but much of it consists of plans and declarations of intent whose success is by no means certain. And the city did have a health and education system in the past, but it was overshadowed by heavy industry. After the disappearance of the latter, this is all that remains. There are countless places where deindustrialization is taking place. The list is endless. Another example would be the Belgian city of Charleroi. Evidence of the mining of near-surface coal deposits there dates back to the Middle Ages. In the course of the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century, the city became a center of the Walloon coal and steel industry, and also an important location for the production of flat glass. Charleroi was unable to escape the decline of the Walloon steel industry that began in the late 1960s, and structural change set in, leading to high unemployment that continues to this day. In 2012, the last remaining blast furnace in Charleroi was closed. In recent decades, however, Charleroi economy has become increasingly diversified, partly due to the establishment of facilities belonging to the University of Brussels and the opening of a technology park. The population rose from around 55,000 in 1846 to around 245,000 in 1930, and is now around 200,000. The proportion of migrants is around 16% and the unemployment rate is currently at 15%. There are many other places that are in a similar situation to Newcastle or Charleroi. Sometimes, however, deindustrialization occurs in places where you would not expect it. Places where you often did not even know that industrial facilities existed. One such place is Ocean Key Island in the Bahamas. Ocean Key is located in the Bahamian district of Bimini, 20 miles south of Bimini proper. Ocean Cay is an artificial island which was built by dredging in the late 1960s and was used to mine aragonite sand for diverse industrial purposes. The total size of the island is 103 acres, and the original owners also had dredged the area to allow for deep vessels to dock for the exploitation of the sand. Since 2019, the quay has been redeveloped as a private island where cruise ships can dock so that passengers can enjoy a day at the beach and do various water sports. Ocean Key is one of the rather few examples of a successful transition from an industrial to a recreational area, and it's also profitable.